All right, so we are a few minutes past the hour, so why don't we get started? Um, Thank you and welcome to all of you. Thanks to CertainTeed for putting this on, for sponsoring this. Their job is to be your partner in this, just like our job is to be your partner in this. Um, we will get through it. It's temporary. And so use all of the resources that you've got. You'll hear me say this a number of times throughout this presentation today. But again, use the chat box for questions or the Q&A, either one. I will stay here as long as I need to answer questions for you guys. The goal is that by the end of this, that we all have an action plan to put into place, that we are confident in, even though things are crazy out there, that we're confident in our future, and that we are not in this alone. Those are just kind of the goals here, all right? So those of you that have been to my stuff before or are familiar with me at all, you know that I am big into mindset. And so the first part of this presentation is going to be all about mindset, and then we're going to get into actual business tactics and strategies. You know, the longer I do this, it's been, this year will be, well, this year was 30 years that I have been essentially on my own. Either when I first started out, I was a commissioned salesperson, and then I started my own company a couple of years after that. And from all of that time, I've never had, I've never really had a paycheck, if you will. I earned my living, like most of you, by delivering value to the marketplace. And one of the things that I have learned, the older I get, the more I get that business success is so much more about mindset than it is about skill set. And just as an example of that, when I first started off, and I tell the story in my first book, the Double Your Profits book, that my first business was a carpet dyeing, carpet cleaning, carpet restoration business. And I didn't know anything about that business. I had a friend that was in that business who was the best carpet cleaner you've ever seen in your life. But this guy every day went out there, and if he was not out breaking his back every day, and anybody that knows, you think roofing is bad, try carpet cleaning for a couple of days. It's thankless work. But this guy was out there every single day for, like, he had his business for I think 6 or 7 years by the time, when I started mine. And I went into it, luckily, I went into it with a different mindset. My mindset was, I'm going to get good at the sales and marketing of this thing. Yes, I'm going to go do the work as long as I need to do the work, which I did for a year. But within about 18 months, I was not doing the work anymore, and I was building a business. This guy was out there, with the, cleaning the carpet and doing much, much better work than I would have ever done, but I was building a business. And I made more money after 18 months in the business from a dead stop than he was making in business after 6 or 7 years. And so mindset to me has been a critical factor in success. And so that's why we start there. All right. Then we'll get into the business tactics and strategy. Because quite frankly, if you're not right here, the rest of this stuff isn't going to make any difference. All right. So I gotta do a big shout out, big thank you to Scott McCollum at McRoof in Oklahoma City. Saw him a few weeks ago at the last live breakthrough event that we were able to do and all get together in one room. I can't believe, God, it seems like it was years ago, but it was weeks ago. But Scott was there. And when this whole thing started, he sent me this killer document that was like, hey, here's some of the things just some of my thoughts that I'm putting down. Beautiful structure, had a lot of really great information. He said, look, can we turn this into an ebook or a webinar or something? And so we took some of that information, combined it with some of the other stuff that we were doing. And that is the presentation that you guys are getting right now. So Scott, I'm not sure if Scott is with us here today. I know he was on a webinar that I did yesterday. Scott, no, he's not here today, but thank you. I appreciate you doing this. One of the things that has really, I shouldn't say it surprised me at all, but it's encouraging that so many people are stepping up and wanting to be of value to others. And that is one of the keys, by the way, of getting through this temporary setback, is finding ways to be of value to others. And again, we're going to talk about this, but things like this, Scott sat down and did pages and pages of really good notes and information about how to deal with what's going on right now. And he did it not to make money. He did it not for the glory of it. He did it because he really from his heart wanted to help. And I'm seeing so much of that. It's really incredible how people are really pulling together and helping each other through this. And the reality of it is, look, we're all going through the same thing, right? It's not a few people that are going through it. It's flipping everybody that's going through it. So anyway, so let's jump in. So first thing, none of us can afford to think, believe, or act as if the world is coming to an end. It's not, okay? It's not. This is temporary. The virus has changed our world today and for the foreseeable future, but there is going to be a future. And this is your opportunity to be a leader, to come out stronger, smarter, and wealthier than ever before. For those of you that follow us on, we finally put up the Wealthy Contractor. By the way, for those of you that, you know what, a lot of you might not even know who the hell I am and why we're doing this, but I'm going to give you real quick background. So I come from the home improvement business. I started a marketing company called G4 Marketing Group with my business partner, who also happens to be my wife, Addie. We started that in May of 2009. And G4 Marketing Group provides relationship marketing services. We're basically the outsourced relationship marketing department for hundreds of home improvement companies around the country, including probably a bunch of the people that are on this webinar now, but also a ton of roofing companies all across the country. That's one part of our business. The other side of our business is an more education business, and that's the Wealthy Contractor. The Wealthy Contractor is really all about, so there's a podcast, we do webinars, we have now a Facebook group that we've created. So if you go to Facebook and you just put in The Wealthy Contractor, join that group. There's nothing to buy. Okay, let's be clear. Right now, there's nothing to buy there. We're just posting information to help everybody get through this. So we're taking, we've changed the podcast format around. I've got a bunch of really great interviews, including, she is on the line, or she is on today's webinar, Anna Olivier. Anna, I saw your name in the registration list, and I just checked you are here. I did an amazing interview. If you guys don't know Anna Olivier from Louisiana, you're going to know her soon. She is awesome. And I did an interview with her a few weeks ago, and we're shelving that for now until we get through this. But yesterday I was on the phone with her, and I asked her if she would participate with me in what I'm calling quick conversations. So if you go to the podcast now, I think we've got 9 or 10 of these conversations that I've done with people that are in the business that the exact same business that you're in. I basically ask them all the same question. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And what are you doing right now to, keep your sanity and keep your business and get through this? And so you could find that stuff, all of those conversations at the Wealthy Contractor podcast. All right. Now, last piece of this is what's in front of you right now. Hashtag SETA. Basically what last week or the week before, I had this, and this was before the Trump said the April 30th thing, but I thought, you know what, and this is what I'm telling all of my clients, look, we have to get through April. We have to get through April. April's going to be tough, but we got to get through April, because on the other side of this, when we come out of the other side of this, we as business owners need to be prepared. We have to be prepared mentally, and we have to have our businesses prepared to go to start this back up again. And it will start back up again. And so we're doing this campaign called Stay Active Through April. Stay Active Through April. We're asking people to submit 1-minute videos of encouragement of what they're doing right now. And so if you have some encouraging words like JT, Trent Hicks, I would love it if you would go and do this. And I'll give you guys a URL where you can go and submit your videos, and then we'll post them on the Wealthy Contractor. And, we all need good news. We listen to I'll try not to cuss here, the effing news media. And oh my God, it's like the whole world is collapsing around us. It's not. We have to find the silver line. We have to find good news. And so that's what we're hoping to do with this. All right. So again, these were in different times. If this was 2 months ago, this would be a very different webinar. But look, we are in the times that we're in. We have to deal with what we've got going on. The next 30, 60 days are going to be critical for all of our success. And so what you're going to see here as we go throughout is you're going to see strategies and tactics for you to keep your head in the game, yourself in the game, keep your team engaged, and keep your business alive. All right. So as business owners, now is the time for leadership. So you've got to be a leader for your business. You have to be a leader for your customers and your prospective customers. You have to be a leader for your employees and your staff. You have to be a leader for your vendors, suppliers, and subcontractors. And you've got to be a leader for your community. What do leaders provide? Leaders provide a reasoned response, not panic, not freaking out, a reasoned response, a place of calm, a plan for a way forward, a positive view of an abundant universe. Listen, there is more than enough of everything out there, more than enough customers, jobs, money, opportunity, wealth, everything for all of us. Okay, we cannot allow scarcity or lack thinking to enter into our minds at this point, nor can we allow that with our teams, our staff, okay? And then a model, and I love this one, a model of personal responsibility and growth. To me, personal responsibility is all about taking 100% full responsibility for every outcome in our lives, good, bad, or ugly. Personal responsibility means that if I don't achieve what I want to achieve, if I don't become what I want to become, if I don't have what I want to have, there's only one place to go and look, and that's in the mirror. Okay? The minute excuses and blame come into place, then you've abdicated control of your life to forces that cannot be controlled. And so we need to be, again, we need to provide this type of leadership to our teams. We got to do what we can do. The reality of it is we've all been impacted by what's going on. The environment that we're in, this virus, it's completely and totally out of our control. All right. And so we have to not use it as an excuse and blame it, but we have to be responsible in, well, what can I do in response to this? That's the only thing that we can really control. Now, as a business, and I'm talking to the business owners now, and really to anybody, even if you're not a business owner, what if you're not feeling it right now? Tough. I hate to say it, but tough. You got to push through. You got to push through, right? Now, control what you can. So this is right now. Sorry, guys. Let me take some water. Control what you can. Look, we don't have control over the virus. None, zero. But what we do have control over are the thoughts we think and what we allow in, the beliefs we hold true, and the actions that we take. Okay, that is what we have control over now. The thoughts we think, the beliefs we hold true, and the actions that we take. Okay, that's what we can control right now. So this is a time where we are all being tested. And as business owners, we have to protect our confidence. You can't afford to let your guard down right now. Not to your customers, not to your team, not to your family, and not to your subconscious mind. Meaning that if you take all those negative thoughts and allow them to take root inside of your subconscious mind, they are going to take you down a road that is not going to be productive. So you have to stand guard at the door to your mind. I know how, for some people, how that might sound, but look, again, I've been at this on my own for 30 years. These are the truths that I know. Now, what if you're scared? It's okay. It's okay. But you got to do things to combat the fear. And one of the best things that you can do is pick up the phone, call your friends in the business, call colleagues, call your CertainTeed rep, somebody that's going to not commiserate with you and talk about all of the negative that's going on, but what are not about the problems, it's about the solution. So what are the things that we are doing to get through this time? Right? Those are the type of people that you want to look for. And look, quite frankly, if they're not around you, go listen to stuff. You can listen to the Wealthy Contractor podcast. You can listen to other podcasts. There's a lot of people that are putting good content out there. There's also a lot of people that are putting crappy, opportunistic content out there. You're going to have to figure out what works best for you. Okay. But this is not a time to go inside and be alone. This is a time to venture out, talk to other people, and look, again, if you don't have other people to talk to, figure out ways that you could be of service to others. Because you probably, even if things are going bad for you, you probably have it better than a lot of people that are in your community right now. So get out of your head and start thinking about how can I be of service and how can I be of value to others. Okay. Now, throughout all of this, there is some good news, okay? Um, I'm looking at what somebody wrote in the chat. Okay, so look, so this is perfect example. So I've had a number of conversations with clients, with people in the business that I trust, and without exception, almost everybody that I talk to is, I haven't talked to one person yet that is completely and totally negative, like this is it, this is the end. Not one person. And here, somebody wrote, we are thinking that the consumer's pent-up demand is going to be tremendous when they regain their confidence, and many business areas will boom and not be able to keep up with demand. That's the right attitude to have. That's somebody wrote that in the chat. And so we understand that things aren't going to be the same again. But just because they're not going to be the same doesn't mean that there's not going to be a number of enormous opportunities on the other side of this, right? So again, if you want to hear some conversations like this, there's about 10 or 11 of them at the Wealthy Contractor podcast. And you can get that at iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts from. By the way, I don't make any money on the podcast. All right, I make no money. So I'm sending you to a resource that's absolutely free. I make no money on the podcast. All right. Most of the stuff that we're going to be talking about, most of the stuff that we are offering through the Wealthy Contractor has no fee to it. By the way, there's no fee for me to do this. CertainTeed is not paying me to do this. All right. All right. So part of why this is so important that you protect what's going into your head is because what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. So if you're going to focus on negativity, guess what? What's going to expand in your mind is negativity, and guess what? Your results are going to follow what you focus on. So if you're just talking negative and you just have negativity in your head, then those are the results that you are going to end up with. Okay? So don't allow that to happen. Stay the course. Stay the course. Keep moving forward. Okay. Now, here's what you do not want to do right now. If you can help it, don't panic. Okay. Don't stop advertising. Advertising needs to be adjusted. I've had a number of conversations with clients throughout the last couple of weeks about advertising. For the most part, most of our clients are continuing to advertise. Because here's the deal, okay? Now, you're going to have to pare it down probably a little bit. You're not going to spend the same amount of money as you were spending before. But here's the thing. When this starts to come back in 30 days, 30 to 60 days is when this is really going to start coming back. You are going to be, if you've stopped advertising, where are you going to be? You're going to be all the way at the bottom, and you're going to work 3 times as hard just to move yourself back up into position. Those people that are continuing to advertise, and yes, it's got to be much more strategic, and yes, you know, you have to be in a good cash position to be able to continue doing it, but you have to continue to stay out in your community. People need to see that you are still involved and engaged. And then the other piece of this is, do not stop talking with your customers. And I'm going to show you some things that we're doing with our clients so that we do not stop talking with our customers, because as you'll see in a few minutes, we're going to need them more than ever. Okay. So let's start talking about what you can do for your business right now, right? So you have to take stock of where you are now. So look, a lot of people are looking at this as fight or flight. You know, am I going to fight my way through it, or am I just going to, you know, shut down, roll up in a ball, and completely give up? Obviously, if you are in the fight camp, which probably most of you are, that's why you're here today, then here's some of the things you've got to be looking at. Ask yourself where you are right now in terms of your strengths and weaknesses as a company in your marketplace. okay? Your strengths and weaknesses as a company in your market. You've got to look at cash on hand. And I'm sure that, I looked at this was it last week or the week before? I mean, all the days are starting to flip and blur all together. But I looked at our cash position. I looked at personally. I looked at for the business, where are we? And got a very good assessment of where we're at. Okay, so I suggest you do the same. Look at your staff, look at your team. Who are the A players on your team? Do everything. I'm going to show you a couple of things here. You got to try and do everything you can to keep your people, especially if you've got a good team. Now, if you've got a crappy team, and this might be a good time to purge and start new, because on the other side of this, those of you that were having a hard time, a lot of my clients were having a hard time finding installers and salespeople. Well, guess what? There's going to be an abundance of those people that are going to need jobs when this is over. And so that's actually going to be one of the byproducts of this, is that the better companies, the companies with good systems in place, the companies that continue advertising, continue talking with their customers, when all of this gets really turned back on, they're going to be able to hire those people and start and really grow their companies faster than they were able to before. Check your inventory, see what you've got. And then also, you've probably already started to do some of this, but look at your budget, look at what your projections were for the year, look at where you're at, make adjustments as needed, but get very clear on the numbers. One of the things, and we're doing this, by the way, and we've done everything that we can do to keep our team intact. So we had one person that we laid off out of nearly 20. And that's only because she was the last person in, and we felt bad about it. But everybody else, we've managed to keep. Now, tomorrow, April 4th, we're doing this on today's April 2nd. So I think it's April 3rd, tomorrow. The SBA is going to start releasing these programs. There are two programs. And look, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but I've already started the paperwork for the payroll protection program. This is a killer program. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to give you, there's a form you got to fill out. You take the average of your payroll from the last 12 months, and they are going to loan you 2.5 times that amount at a super low 0.5% interest rate, which is basically, nothing. No payments for 6 months. It's a 2-year term. And if you use the money for payroll, for what it was intended for keeping your team and keep paying your team, guess what? They're going to forgive these loans. All right. So contact your banker. If you haven't done so already, make sure that they are an SBA lender. If they are not, find one that is, so that you can at least take advantage of this program. You'll get, again, 2.5 times, which should give you more than enough money to pay your people to ride this thing out. Okay. Again, this is something we're doing. Just because we've taken so long to build this team that we have, and they're an amazing team, that we're doing everything that we can to keep the team together. Okay, so this is something that's available. It's part of that $2 trillion deal that they passed last week. So get on this. Okay, it's called the Payroll Protection Program. All right. Change your delivery system to protect your people, your customers, and your partners. I have a good friend and client. In fact, I did an interview with him recently. It's up on the podcast. But his company, they're doing virtual visits and meetings. You guys are roofing. So you can get an eagle view to give you a picture of the roof. You could send people without having to go inside the house. You can send whatever you call them, salespeople, estimators, whatever, out to take pictures of the house, right? And then you can do these types of meetings through Zoom and do your presentations and quotes through Zoom. Now, I will tell you this. Jobs still need to be sold, okay? Jobs still need to be sold. Bidding through this process, I don't believe in it to begin with. I don't believe in bidding. I believe in home improvements need to be sold, right? And so what they're doing is, but they're using the same the same presentation, sales presentation that they would use face-to-face, they're using it through a Zoom meeting, just like what we're doing right now with homeowners. Is the close rate as good? Somebody was asking me about this yesterday. No, it is not. No, it is not. But a little bit is better than nothing. And there are a lot of companies right now, especially some of the bigger companies, that are having success with this. So here's what you need. You need like an eagle view, which you guys have a deal with as CertainTeed. You need technology like this, Zoom, which is pretty affordable. You need something to do the presentations with. So you could use a keynote presentation. There's a company called Engage, INGAGE.io, I believe, where they will help you get whatever your presentation is together and onto their platform so you can do a virtual meeting. And then you need something like a DocuSign, or we use PandaDoc. I mean, whatever you're going to use, basically it's just an electronic signature thing. You are also going to, you're also going to need right now a good, compelling offer. And an offer is not only saving money, and you'll see a little bit more of this in a minute, but it's not only going to be a a money off offer, financing offer, 6, 12, 24 months, same as cash. All right, we'll give you a resource for this. You guys have a killer resource at Mosaic Financing for these programs. All right. Add scripting to set people at ease about a stranger coming into their home. And somebody's asking me if this presentation and the slides are going to be available as a replay. Yes, they will be. So what precautions are you taking to keep your staff safe and your customers safe? You need to start adding this language into all conversations that you are having with prospects, and with customers, and with your staff. And I'm not gonna insult your intelligence by telling you what all of those things are, like the washing the hands and all. You guys know what all that stuff is. You just need to make sure your customer knows, that your prospect knows what you're doing. I know a lot of you are doing whatever you've got to do out there to get work installed so you can get money coming into the business. If you have to, use financing. If people are a little skittish about this, tell them, look, I can set you up to defer payment for a year. So you won't have to pay anything on this program or this project for a year. Some people are doing 2 years even, 2022. So you got to decide what's right for you. But this is going to help you get those jobs installed. There was something else about that. Anyway, it'll come back to me. This is also a time, so this is an area where we do at G4 Marketing, we do a lot of work in, and that is in the customer experience. Now more than ever, you have got to provide an amazing customer experience. This is your opportunity to create raving fans. Now, if you've ever been to any of my workshops or presentations, you know that I beat this up at how critically important this piece is. To me, a quote unquote satisfied customer is a liability in your business. What you are striving for is to create raving fans. And this is going to be a way for you to set yourself apart from your competition. This also gives you the opportunity to create your business or recreate your business into companies that you've aspired to be like. Like, we aspire in different ways to be a lot like Disney. We aspire a lot, especially with our workshops and live meetings that we do. We aspire to be like the Ritz-Carlton in terms of service and face-to-face communication with people. So this is your opportunity to really revamp and reinvent your company and your customer experience. Now is the time to also communicate more than ever. Keep your staff up to date. I know our entire team is, if you look at my office, is empty. There's nobody here. It's just me here in my office and Addie on the other side of the office in hers. Everybody else is remote. Everyone else is working from home. And so we got to come up with ways of communicating with them, of keeping them engaged, of letting them know what's going on, because they're afraid. You know, they're afraid, they're uncertain too. If you are, they are, right? Like I said, you got to keep advertising, but of course you're going to probably just pull back a little bit and just do the things that are going to be, you know, the things that are going to keep you out in front of your community, your name out in front of your community. I am hearing a lot about TV advertising becoming like, you can get really good deals right now on TV advertising, on radio advertising. So, you know, look out for those things if that's something that you do. All right. So one of the things that you got to do here too is not give up selling jobs. So you've got to continue selling jobs, but you got to keep your margins. You got to keep your, now is not the time to lower your price. In fact, on the other side of this, more than likely, you're going to have to raise your prices. So start thinking about that now. You're going to have to offer, I think you have to offer aggressive financing. So 12 months, 24 months, same as cash. What can you do with warranties? Okay. What can you do to communicate? And I'm going to show you some of the things that we're doing to communicate with our customers. Use email, write personal letters, ask for referrals, ask for reviews. And right now, I know somebody was asking about Google reviews. When are they going to be back? We don't know. We don't know. A big part of our business is helping our clients get Google reviews. Why they've shut that down, I don't understand. I don't know. But I'm sure it's going to be back. It'll be back soon. But ask for referrals. Find out what needs that they have. Even if it's not a today need, you're planting seeds. You're planting seeds for when we're through this. Which, look, it seems like it's been forever. It's been 2 weeks, and I'm with you. We can't go to restaurants. We can't go to a bar. We can't go to a club. We can't go to anywhere fun. We can't go see a movie. We can't go on vacation. We can't do shit. So, yes, it's tough, but it's going to be another month. You know, it seems like forever, but it's really only going to be another month, maybe 2. So, you know, keep trying to sell. Don't push real hard, though. Right now is not a time to push real hard. For those of you that, you know, that are 1 call closed, you may have to go to 2 call. Okay. But again, remember, in a month or so, you're going to be back. Make sure your internet presence does not go away. Make sure that whatever you've done to rank your company in terms of reviews, in terms of SEO, organic, local listings, make sure you keep that stuff intact. And then, of course, leverage your personal, professional networks. You know, who can you communicate with, who can you talk with, who can you discuss solutions with. This is all about keeping your head in the game for at least the next 30 to 60 days. This is a good opportunity to share your expertise. Look, people don't understand roofing. Most people don't understand roofing. So this is a good time for you to share a good content that's just providing value to the marketplace, to your customers. Write tips for how to deal with a contractor, tips for what makes a good roofing project. What are some tips for, do you need a repair or do you need a full replace? If you have a blog, share it on your blog. This is a good one. Reach out to local personalities and let them know how you're helping the community, if you are. Hopefully you are. And remind people that you're there. Remind people that you're open for business, that you are still a part of the community. I said this earlier, but I can't stress it enough at this point. We need our customers, past, present customers, now more than ever. This is a time to reach out to past and current customers. Now look, this is not about calling them and begging them to give you more money. This is about being of value. This is about being of service. It's about staying engaged. They will help you ride this out and stay in touch so you stay top of mind with them. And this is also something that I've talked about for years, is that when times are good, we have to take that those customers, every single customer that comes through our door, every single customer that we do work with, and instead of looking at them as a one-time transaction, we look at them as an opportunity to develop a relationship that's going to lead to repeat business, referrals, positive word of mouth. These are the things, these are the people that are going to help you ride through this. I mean, look, when this starts to come back in the next 30, 60 days and we turn things back on, who are we all going to need to go to first? And if you haven't done a good job of staying in touch with your customers, of developing a relationship with your customers, they're not going to remember who you are, let alone give you more money or make referrals. Okay, so if you haven't done it in the past, okay, now's the time to start. Take it easy. If you have been keeping in touch or developing good relationships with your customers, now is the time to over communicate and just make sure that they know that you are there to serve them. And one of the things that I kind of thought about yesterday, because someone was asking about, well, how do you communicate with them? My thinking right now is 3 to 1. So it's 3 messages of value, content, service to 1 offer. Okay, so kind of 3 to 1 is 2 to 1 is kind of a good rule of thumb for this. So some of the things, we do an enormous amount of direct mail for our clients. And right now we need direct mail more than anything. Why? People are home. Okay, this is a unique opportunity to touch your customers. And again, we've got to stay top of mind with our customers. We've got to continue promoting our solutions. We've got to let them know that we are still open for business. And we've got to be, we have to deliver good news. We can't be the people that are delivering bad news. They're getting enough of that already. Okay. And so we've got to be the ones that are delivering good news to our customers. Now, for 20 something years, we have used customer newsletters. A customer newsletter is about the best way that you could stay in touch with your customers. And I'm talking about a print and mail newsletter. Now, we actually do both. We do a print and mail newsletter 4 times a year for our clients, January, April, July, and October. And we do a monthly email newsletter for our clients to their customers. And I use both. I believe in multi-channel. Okay, if they're not looking at their email, they're definitely looking at their mail pile. All right, and a newsletter done well is a friendly, engaging, and entertaining tool to use to stay in touch with your customers. Now, one of the things that we do, and I'll show you, and again, this is, look, whether I do this for you or you do it or somebody else does it, at this point today, doesn't matter. What matters is it gets done, okay? So for our clients, if you guys can see this, we do a printed mail newsletter, goes out in the mail like this, okay? There's a bunch of, I'm gonna spare you all of the different engagement devices and psychology that we use in this thing, but inside of the newsletter, we put a insert, it's a double-sided insert, and this is where we do our selling. The wrapper is meant to be entertaining, engaging, but this is where we do our selling, okay? So if you're doing a newsletter, what you don't want the newsletter to be is you don't want it to be all about roofing, because nobody cares about roofing. Okay? If you guys, most of you probably do other exterior stuff too, windows, siding. People don't care about that stuff. We put in a recipe, we put a kids article, we put a pet article, we put an inspiring article, we do movie trivia. You know, it's all of those things are meant to entertain and engage your customer, the customer, and then we can sell them through the use of an insert, right? I'm just looking at questions. I answered the question about Google reviews. If anybody knows, there's a question being asked, does anybody have any idea when Google reviews will be live again? Like I said, I don't know. If somebody else does, just put it into the chat for me. For you, it allows you to take photos while you're in it and then send an email for request. Okay. So again, we are still sending out thank you boxes for our clients. We are still doing the print newsletter. We're still doing the email newsletter. We're using keep in touch postcards. So we are very active on behalf of our clients in doing these things. Referrals. At this point, and again, in the next 30, 60 days, we must aggressively go after referrals. Every job that is being installed now should be looked at as a referral opportunity. So again, if you are out, oh, this is great. Okay, I'll come to that in a second. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. But every job that you are installing now, do whatever you can, do the best that you can to turn that into a referral opportunity, okay? And you're gonna do this through what? Creating an amazing customer experience, amazing, right? You're gonna do this by being easy to work with. You're gonna do this probably by having good finance offers. It's a reason for people to go and talk with other people. And you got to be providing a real solution. Look, you guys are roofers. You know, rain is coming. You know, I spoke with my client Candy at City Roofing the other day, and you can find the conversation again on the podcast. But she said something great. She said the rain is coming. That is the virus is not going to hold the rain back. You know, you guys are an essential, well, look, legally, I'm not a lawyer, so you gotta find out in your state if you are deemed essential. But my thinking on this is, if you're not essential, who the hell is, right? So somebody said about the whole Google reviews thing, and again, I don't know this. I'm just going to read you the answer. I don't know this to be true. But the answer for the reviews thing is Google does not want people to do a review about catching the virus from your business, which I guess is kind of cool, right? So I guess that's the reason why they are not posting reviews. However, I did go in and I posted a review just last week. We tested this to see what would happen. And I wonder if maybe, and test this yourself, you know, maybe go to a restaurant that you like or a hotel in your area that you like and try and post a Google review. I wonder if maybe in some cases they're holding them back. They're not necessarily posting them, but they are accepting them. And maybe later they're going to turn them back on. So I would test that. And test it on yourself as well. Have somebody, you know, go in and try and write a review for your company as well. Okay, we're bouncing around here a little bit, but I just want to make sure that all of the questions are answered. All right, so those are all of so let's kind of draw a line and say, okay, those are all of the practical things that you could be doing right now and to keep money coming into your business, to keep your people engaged, to keep yourself engaged. Now, what if you're in an area where you really are kind of shut down and you can't go do work? Okay, so one thing is you do want to stay active with your customers. You do want to still be doing virtual meetings with people. All right, don't give that up. Do whatever you can do to do that. You might have some extra time on your hands over the next month. I know I might. I haven't yet. I'm working harder than ever for no money, but we'll get through this, all right? And so, by the way, I cannot wait. I don't know about you guys, but the minute this is over, I'm doing two things. Number one, I'm gonna go to a restaurant and I'm gonna sit at the bar and I'm gonna have like 2 or 3 drinks and I'm gonna order a big fat steak. That's number one. Number two, when I'm done with that is, and ideally my wife and friends and, you know, family will be with me. The second thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plan a damn vacation. All right, and I think that, you know, somebody was mentioning before about kind of pent up demand. I think that restaurants are probably going to come roaring back, hopefully, okay? I think that travel is going to come roaring back. Maybe not international travel, but definitely travel within the US is going to just go off the charts. And so there is an end to this. There is an end to this. So anyway, with that said, what are some of the things that you could be doing now for your business to come out the other side stronger, smarter, and wealthier? Okay, so let's look at a business overhaul, complete overhaul, top to bottom. Let's look at your entire system from start to finish and look for ways to improve and or optimize your performance. Okay, so what are the things that you could be looking at during your overhaul time? You've got to be looking at lead generation. Analyze the efficacy and the profitability of the different lead sources. What was productive? What was profitable? Okay, look at these things and you know, so that when things open back up again, you'll have a good sense of what was working and what wasn't working. Okay, obviously, get rid of the things that weren't working before and increase the things that were working. What are other lead sources that are available to you that you've just not had a chance to go out and test? start to do some investigating, start to look into some print media, look into maybe TV, those things. This is important. Most businesses, and I'm going to say the owner, because it all starts with us, the buck stops with us, right? Wait, the buck stops here. That's taking personal responsibility, right? Do you know who your ideal customer is? Do you know where they live? Do you know what kind of cars they drive? Do you know what kind of work they do? Do you know what kind of things they do for fun? Do you know what kind of magazines they read? Do you know their income level, their education level? Now is the time to find out. Now is the time to create that perfect customer avatar. Look, good marketers have what's called a customer avatar, and we write all of our messaging to that avatar, right? So look, if your target customer is a woman, wouldn't you talk to a woman different than you talk to a man? Probably, right? Wouldn't you talk, if your target customer is a man, wouldn't you talk to a man a little different than you would talk to a woman? If the woman is the breadwinner at home and she's working all day, every day, and both husband and wife are working, don't you have to kind of acknowledge that and prepare your business and your messaging around that idea? So these are the things you want to look for. One of the things too, one of the recommendations that I make is take your past 3, 4, 5 years of customers, depending on the size of your company, okay? Take your past 3, 4, 5 years of customers, put their addresses, you don't need their names and their phone number, just their addresses on an Excel spreadsheet, and then go find, look for map plotting software online, free map plotting software. Somebody gave me one yesterday. I think it's called Measure Map. And you take that information, you load it into the system, and it will give you a map of where all of your customers live. What do you do with this map? Well, you're going to look for clusters. So where do your customers live? And then this is where you start to target more of your marketing now. And when we come out of this on the other side, it's just getting your marketing much more targeted to where your customers actually live. Okay. But again, you've got to, and by the way, this is all stuff you could do with your team too. You can get your team involved in this process, right? Well, of understanding who is our customer. I like to say, who are we for? Right? So in my company, we are very, very, very clear about who our company is for. We work, the majority of our clients do between 2 million and about 12 million a year. Now look, I have a client that does 150 million a year. I have a client that does 75 million a year. I have a client that does 50 plus, 30 plus, but that's a small group. The majority of our clients are 2 to 12 million. They spend a lot of money on advertising. They are sales and marketing companies that just happen to sell windows, roofing, one-day bath, plumbing, HVAC, right? And they absolutely 100% believe in their customers, and they want to build relationship with their customers so that they get more reviews, repeat business, and referrals. That's our ideal client. And everything that we do is targeted to that group of people. We know that those people, those men and women, very, very well here. Okay. And so you've got to do the same. You got to know what their challenges are, what keeps them up at night, what their problems are, right? I know the challenges that my clients have. I know the problem. I know what keeps them up at night. Part of the reason is because I was them, but also because I just from doing this for all of these years and having so many conversations, I understand who they are. And so anyway, you need to do that too for your customers. There's one place to look for there's one place, sorry, I'm looking at the chat, forgive me. One you got to look for one of the other things that you want to look for in your business are leaks. Where are there leaks in your business? Where are leads potentially leaking out, or customers, not being taken care of, those things. And one of the places that there are potential leaks is in web leads. How do you deal with web leads? Meaning somebody fills out a form on your website, or if you're using something like a Home Advisor or an Angie's List, what is your process for dealing with leads that come in through the internet? I would look very, very closely at that and make sure that if it's not tight, if you don't have a way of making sure that stuff is not slipping through the cracks, that you work on that system. Get your team involved in this. You don't have to do all of this work alone. And then the last thing here with lead generation, which is critical, is do you have an inbound lead script? So when somebody calls the office, do you have an inbound lead script designed to convert that prospect into an appointment? And can that be improved? What a lot of people don't understand about this business is one of the greatest opportunities there is in this business is the number of raw inquiries that come in. Okay, an inquiry is not a lead. An inquiry is somebody that just happened to call in, right? It's our job to take that person and convert them into an appointment. That is one of the most critical numbers in this business, is inquiry to appointment. And a lot of people, there's no other way to say it, they do a horrible job of this. Horrible. And the biggest culprit here is that they don't have the right person with the right script on the phone taking those calls. That person that takes those inbound calls to set an appointment is a salesperson. Now, they're not a full-blown in-house salesperson. This is somebody that's structured, scripted, that can be trained and taught how to execute this script. And so if you don't have a script, it's time to create one. And if you do have one, it's time to look at it, look for ways to improve it, and do training with your team. This is a great time to do training. In the conversation I had yesterday with Anna, what are they doing with some of their downtime? They're doing Zoom meetings with their sales teams to make sure that they are not getting rusty. Okay, they are doing role playing, they're doing training, they're role playing with each other. I mean, these are the things that you've got to be looking at right now. Sales. What happens between the time that an appointment is created and the lead is run? Is there room for improvement there? Is your sales process scripted? Do you have a step selling system? Okay, so my buddy John, who we have a CertainTeed presentation, 10-step selling system with all the scripting and everything already done and in place. All we need to do is, make it semi-custom for you. If that's something you're interested in, just, let me know. But John has my point here is that John has a 10-step system. Some people might have a 7-step system. The point is, it is a system, and a system is scripted. It's replicable, meaning we can do it over and over and over and over again. It produces a consistent result. And so, do you have that in place? And if you do, can you improve it? During this time, are you doing regular sales meetings? Are you using this time as an opportunity to do sales training? Okay. Are all of your sales people running off the same playbook? If not, now is the time to get them all onto the same playbook. Customer experience, we talked about this. So I'm going to give you a simple way of looking at your customer experience. Imagine you are a prospect for your business. Okay? Start with the phone call, the initial phone call, or wherever that lead might come from, and walk through the entire process from beginning to end and look at every interaction point that customer has with your business. and just ask yourself a very simple question. At this interaction point, whether it's on the phone or it's live and in person, or even right now through via text, what can we do at this interaction point so our customer can't help but say, wow, wow, you wouldn't believe how professional these people were. Wow, you wouldn't believe how clean these people were. Wow, you wouldn't believe how, fill in the blank, right? That's how you look at your customer experience. Sit down, look at from the very, very first interaction that they have with your company all the way through to the very end and then beyond, okay? Because if you do this right, your relationship with your customer starts when the job is completed. When the job is completed, okay? Because up until then, you're still suspect. You haven't completed your process. That's why I tell people, you know, asking for referrals before the job is done, you can do it, right? You can do it, but the best time to ask for referrals is right when the job is done, because now you've fulfilled and hopefully they're thrilled with what you've done. Again, going back to this idea of creating raving fans, not just a satisfied customer. All right. And then the last piece here is study your current profit model. What was good about it or is good about it? What isn't or wasn't good about it? Are you earning at least a 10% net profit, ideally 15 to 20%, but are you earning at least a minimum net profit of 10% after everything and everyone is paid, including you, for the work that you do? If not, it's time to reevaluate your profit model, okay? Study your pricing. Most of you that do not have the right profit model, meaning minimum 10% net profit after everything is paid for, including you, ideally 15 to 20%, most of you that aren't there, you have a pricing problem. Plain and simple, you have a pricing problem. And so more than likely, after this is over, we're all going to have to raise our prices. That's the one thing that, you know, unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, for some of us that are probably not charging enough for the services that we provide, this is going to be a good thing. But it's more than likely it's going to have to happen. And so one of the things you've got to look at is look at your pricing model and how that relates to your profitability. And then how are you going to add more value to your offering? How are you going to add more value to your offering? Okay? Because look, people pay for value. If you're selling on price, price ain't going to work. And by the way, Jay has asked me to put together more of these webinars for you guys. And so over the next couple of weeks, this is an area where we're going to do a webinar. It's not going to be as long as this one, but we're going to do a webinar just on numbers, okay? Just so that we can understand the numbers of the business and how to determine profit model and all of that. So that's coming. Look out for that. So look, ultimately, at the end of the day here, do you believe that your future is created inside here in your imagination through your aspirations? Or do you believe that life just happens to us? Okay. Most of the successful entrepreneurs that I know are in the first camp. They believe that our future is created today from our imagination, the thoughts we think, the beliefs we hold true, and the actions that we take. So while we're in uncertain times, it can feel like that vision that you had for this year is gone or derailed. Believe me, I've been battling this for 2 weeks. We were having the best first quarter we've ever had. Our second quarter was going to be amazing. Well, guess what? First quarter was okay, just okay. And our second quarter is probably going to suck a little bit, you know? But guess what? I'm not going to let that derail me, okay? Because I can still shape the future, okay? So this is the time to bring your new ideas forward, to launch new objectives, to be proactive and resourceful, and be useful to other people. Be useful to other people, right? So look, you have three options here. You know, one is look at this as a temporary setback, which is what I believe it is. And most of my most successful, all of my most successful clients, I shouldn't even say most, all of them believe it's a temporary setback. We're going to make adjustments as needed, and we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to keep moving forward. This is fight. You know, we're in a fight or flight situation. Flight is, you can look at this as defeat. You can shut down in fear, and that's it. Now, there is a third option here, but I don't like it because it's not a decision. Fight is a decision, flight is a decision. The third option is bouncing between the two. That's not really a decision. That's just letting life happen to you, okay? So I hope for all of you that are here that you are in the fight camp, right? So through this time, don't go at this alone. Do your best to stay out of your head. Fill your mind with positive thoughts. Do whatever needs to be done to keep your mind, you know, with positive thoughts. At every moment, we have the opportunity for every new thought that comes in, which, by the way, most thoughts are not new. They're the same ones over and over and over and over and over again. So we have the opportunity of every time that a new thought comes in to ask ourselves a question. Is this a thought based in faith, or is this a thought based in fear? Ideally, you only want to let in the thoughts that are based in faith. The ones that are based in fear, you want to get rid of them. But you have an option every minute, every moment of every day, every thought that you think, you have an option, right? Got to take care of yourself. Got to get sleep. Don't give up. Don't give up. This is temporary. There will be a lot of demand on the other side. And ultimately, this is going to make us all better. This is going to make us all better. So this is an opportunity for you to have a new vision for your company, to recommit yourself to being the best, to recommit yourself to being the best that you can be, working on personal development and becoming a better leader. And, you know, again, ultimately, in the end, you have a choice. You can either come out of this as a victor, or you can fall as a victim. It's entirely up to you. One of the resources that we do have available is I have a bunch of my 7 Secrets to Becoming a Wealthy Contractor book that I bought, that you can get for basically for free. The way that works is I buy the book. You just pay $6.95 shipping and handling. We'll send you a physical copy of the book. You can get that at thewealthycontractor.com. We'll send you all an email after this is over with all of the resources that were mentioned in the webinar. I'll give you a link to Engage, which somebody was asking. It's INGAGE.io, engage.io. Mosaic for financing. What was the other thing that I mentioned? So the book you can get at thewealthycontractor.com. Go to, like I said, go to Facebook, become a part of the Wealthy Contractor community. There, you're only going to get good news. You're only going to get good stuff and tools, resources that you can use to not only get through this, but come out stronger on the other side, smarter on the other side, wealthier on the other side. And then we're going to continue this conversation going even when this is done and we're through this. So just go to facebook.com. I think you can just go facebook.com/The Wealthy Contractor, or just search for The Wealthy Contractor in the link. For those of you that may be interested in ways of communicating with your customers during this time and forward, let us know how we can be of help. You can go to our website, which is g4marketing.com, but it's GFOUR marketing.com. Or you can send an email to pete@g4mg.com. I know that's confusing. I just realized it, but it's pete@g4mg.com. Or you can call us at 305-856-8788. But please take advantage of all of the resources that are available to you. You're welcome. Thank you all so much. I'm getting a bunch of thank you messages, and I appreciate that. Let me know, by the way, those of you that are still here, let me know what topics that you really want covered over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And if I can't cover that topic, I will bring a friend that I trust to cover that topic. For example, if you guys want to talk sales, I'll bring my buddy John Anglis, and we'll do a selling through this environment, maybe a webinar, maybe do a little bit of, identifying what the 10 steps are, but I need you guys to let me know what you are looking for. I will be doing the numbers, the numbers thing in the coming weeks for you guys as well. Yeah, so people are saying yes to the selling thing. Okay, so sales, selling things, what not to do, looking for the other, interested in number sales, all of the above. Okay, so we'll put together one for sales. I'll definitely one through about numbers, and this webinar will be available for you guys to replay as well. So are there any other, let me make sure I've got questions answered. I answered that. What was the map company that identifies? I believe it's Measure Map, MEASURE, map. Likely a Zoom at 11:37, all posts to the chat stopped. I'm still seeing posts to the chat. We have it set up so only I can see the posts, not everybody. I hope that answers the question. Okay. I answered that. Yes, you will be able to watch this again. 10-step selling system, okay. Podcasts, I believe, are on the Facebook page. If they, no, they are, because I saw them there. So yes, you can get access to them there, but you can also go to iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts from, the podcast is there. And if there is somewhere where it's not and it needs to be, just let us know and we'll get it there as well. All right. So those are all of those questions. Yeah, I got this question yesterday too. Basically, what to do with employees that are afraid to work in this environment. You can't force them, because if they get sick, you're in trouble. It surprised me a lot when I heard that roofers are people working on exteriors of houses are skittish about working or afraid. It kind of surprised me that that's going on, because we have a huge remodel going on at our house. We were there before I did this, and there was probably, I don't know, 7-8 people working on our house. They want to work and they want to get going until they can't anymore. you know. Yes, podcasts are called The Wealthy Contractor. Yeah, many of them ride together in a cramped truck, and that's scary for them. Yeah, I get it. Travel restrictions are an issue. I am new to the business. Is there any advice anyone can give on gaining a beginning customer base? So, two things. One, Home Advisor. Um, and I believe Home Advisor, if you reach out to your Home Advisor rep, they have a deal for CertainTeed. That's one place to go. My other advice would have been go knock doors, but don't do that now. I don't know what state you're in. Maybe in your state it's not an issue. But I know in a lot of states right now, knocking doors is an issue. Yeah, some contractors are only allowing their repair crews to be one to a truck. That might be a good option. Also taking temps before the work starts. Yeah, that's good too. You probably should, if you're going to send anybody out to face the public, taking their temperature is probably a really good idea. I don't understand that question. What about shaming? What about shaming due to staying at home? I'm not sure I understand that question. People are saying no to Home Advisor. Um, Look, yeah, there's good and bad to Home Advisor. There are ways of making Home Advisor more effective and more profitable. There are a lot of companies out there that are using Home Advisor and using it effectively. Really the deal with Home Advisor is speed. That's one of the big issues, and it's it's lead cost averaging through all of the leads that you take. Um, so yeah, so see, for every no Home Advisor sucks, I get one of these. Last year, 60 to 70% of jobs were Home Advisor. It's all in the way that you work that system. It is not an easy system. It's simple, but it's not easy. I believe that we did a Valerie. I'm not sure if you're on. I'm going to make a note. I think we did something. Didn't we do a webinar with Home Advisor on best practices? If we did, we'll make that available to you. I think I remember doing a webinar with them, and we'll make it available. We'll make it available. All right. It says here that somebody raised their hand. I need you to write in a question because I'm not sure how to deal with hand raising. Just if you have a question, just put it into the question or the chat box, either one. Old-fashioned word of mouth is supreme. I agree. Stay home, stay safe, people. Reporting company bad image. Yeah, so basically I think what he's trying to say is don't force your people to go to work, and because they may report you, and that won't be good. You don't want to get a bad, you don't want to come out looking bad on the other side of this. So of course you want to follow all health and safety rules. And by the way, at the beginning of this, I did not mention it, but my assumption was that we're all doing everything we can to stay healthy, to stay safe, do all of the things that are being recommended. I try not to insult your intelligence too much, but let me make sure I bring that up. I do hope that all of you are, healthy and safe and doing all you can to remain that way. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Any other questions? Golf courses are essential. Hey, ours are closed, but all right, everybody. So we are at 12:30. Thank you for being here. I hope this was of value to all of you. We will be sending out a replay. Look for the email. We will be sending links to all of the things that we discussed here today. Look, my message is this. We're going to come out of this stronger, smarter, and wealthier. We just got to deal with the short-term pain. Do all that you can to keep your business going. Make sure your customers know that you are there to serve them. Be good to your people. Try not to. I know a lot of companies have had to lay people off, and it sucks. But if you can get that payroll protection thing and you can keep paying your staff, that would be amazing. Keep them loyal to you so that when you come out of this, man, it's going to be unbelievable when we're through this. And I think, and I'm an optimist, and I'm an optimist. I just don't see this thing getting, completely destroying our way of life. So 30 more days, we can do it. And on the other side of it, we're going to be, again, stronger, smarter, and wealthier than we were going into it. So those are my final words. Thank you all. And yeah, I'm getting a lot of messages about the sales one. All right, I'll get with John and we'll put something together maybe for next week. All right, y'all. All right, thank you. Appreciate you all. Hope this was of value to you. Let me know. And I will see you all again very soon. Thank you.